What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Now, before we jump into today's Entitled Parent stories, I've firstly got a huge announcement for you all. It's probably the biggest announcement in the history of my YouTube career. Today, I am proudly launching Redditor Uncensored. So what is it? Well, it's a new creative path for me in which I'm able to make totally unfiltered Reddit content being 100% myself. That means that for the first time in a very long time, I'll be able to swear, look at dark jokes, controversial topics, literally anything I want, I can do. The main problem with YouTube in 2020 is that there is just an insane amount of censorship these days. Sure, I could upload an r/NoahGetTheBoat video on this channel, but it would be demonetized and age restricted almost immediately, and therefore it wouldn't show up for any of you guys in your notifications, on your homepage. None of you would see it. Even worse, I could potentially get some sort of channel strike for posting that adult content, and that is even with censoring everything: swear words, pictures, content, everything. Look, I want to make the very best Reddit content I can for you guys, and to be honest, I don't want to have to censor myself. It's just not very fun. So that is why I have decided to make Redditor Uncensored. So how will it work? Well, hosted on Patreon for $5 a month, you will get access to all my uncensored videos. In fact, the first one is available right now. The videos are super secret. You'll get a personalized password which will allow you to watch the content. Of course, it's ad-free, but it's meant for a more mature audience. There are also a number of other benefits available, such as weekly Discord calls, getting a personal message from me, and even coming on a night out with me and my friends. Trust me, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Me and my editor Steve-O have been working super hard on this over the past few weeks to try and make the most entertaining content we can. Trust me, it's the sort of content that I wish my favorite YouTubers made. Just them being 100% themselves. You know how they would be off camera with their mates, just down to earth and normal people. About a month ago, over on my community tab, I asked you guys if you would be interested in this, and amazingly, 93% of you said this was a good idea. So look, I'm really hoping you guys get behind this and enjoy it as much as I'm going to. Of course, the content on my main channel and my second channel will not change at all. The quality will remain and I'll still be posting daily. I just thought that why not? Now is the perfect time to try something new. Hardly anyone else has done this, so yeah, why not give it a go? I'm excited to invite you guys on the Redditor Uncensored journey. So please do go ahead and check it out. The link to the Patreon is down in the description, the top line, and also in the pinned comments. Go ahead, show your support. I'll see you over there. Right then, all of that out of the way, I think it's probably time to get into some Entitled Parent stories. Family wants an end-of-day deal 5 hours before closing. So first, a bit of context. I work for my dad sometimes, as I'm too young to get a job yet, a 13-year-old male. And he pays me to come with him to his markets for business, which is photographing rude or funny road signs and then turning them into mugs, coasters, cards, signs, and tea towels. He does markets around the country, mostly in places like Leeds and Manchester, sometimes London. This is in the UK if you didn't already guess. And like I said, he pays me to man the stall at times, unload and load the stock, etc, etc. Now on to the story. So, for the first time, I was working alone on a market, while my dad worked one in Leeds. My mum would have been working this one, but she was sick the week of the market, so I had to cover for her. Side note, the hours on this one were longer than most I had done before. Previous ones were like 10 to 4 or 5, this one was 9 to 7. And it was a cold winter market, so it wasn't the most enjoyable experience, though at least we were inside. The day had passed fine. I had made a few sales and made around £75. Decent for only after 5 hours. Cue the entitled family. They walk up to the stall and start to browse our table of stuff. They decide on a booby mug, a ginge mug, a ginge coaster, and a peony stone tea towel. I can't remember the exact amount since I've not worked there for a while and we were charging slightly more as it was nearer to Christmas. But let's say the two mugs combined were roughly £16, the coaster was about £3.50 and the tea towel was around a tenner. So their total was around £30. By the way, these won't be exact phrases because this was a while ago. Anyway, the entitled dad said, "So, are you doing any end of day deals?" "No sir, I still have another 5 hours here, and even if it was the end of the day, I wouldn't be doing any deals unless discussed with my dad beforehand." The entitled dad and the entitled mum looked rather shocked, like this was the first time they had been refused a deal. "Listen kid, I've worked in business before and you never refuse a customer a deal, so how about it?" "No, I will not give any end of day deal out to you, especially when it's the middle of the goddamn day." This time, the entitled mum decides to get involved. "Alright you little idiots, I know for a fact that the day is almost over. You just want to charge us full price because you're a racist little idiot." They were a white family. At this point, the stall owners to behind and to the left of me tried to tell them to be quiet and to just leave, but I was done with their rubbish. I was practically shouting at this point. Alright, that's it. F off all of you. I cannot be bothered to deal with your trash, so jog on and F off. And then, out of the corner of my eye, do you know what I see? I see the entitled dad pinching his entitled kid hard on the arm, clearly to get him to cry as if it would change my mind. The kid yelps and starts bawling his eyes out. Look what you've done now, you've upset my baby. Give us those mugs for free, now, or else I'm calling the police. You female dog, I saw your idiot husband pinch a kid, so F off before I call security. The place I was working had 3 security guards. Ah! She then proceeds to grab one mug and about 3 tea towels, then tried to make a runner. However, the security guard I mentioned before had apparently been alerted to the situation and came just in time to stop them from getting away. I say that, but he did have to run a little as he came like 30 seconds late. Unfortunately, they did smash the mug they stole, which was annoying, but they were made to pay for it, so it's all good. Long story short, they got banned from the market and I got my stock back. Well, that's certainly an interesting one. I'm not quite sure what this entitled dad was talking about. Yes, I know that bartering is a thing, and of course you can sometimes say to the person selling an object, look, that's a little bit too much for me, can we come down a little bit in price? And they may accept that. But if the person selling doesn't want to come down, they don't have to come down. I don't know what he's talking about saying it's part of business. No, it's not. It doesn't have to be. And also, if you are haggling someone, haggle them respectfully. Don't force them to try and lower their prices when they don't want to. Like the guy has said, OP has said, I'm not lowering my price without my dad saying so. And his dad hasn't said so. So that's the price. You either pay it or you don't and you leave. I also think that in this story, the bargaining has become more like intimidation and actually being a little bit of a bully, if I'm honest, because, you know, OP is just a kid. He's 13 years old. He's got a dad who's saying to him, no, you need to lower your price right now. A lesser kid, someone who was a little bit more nervous or fragile perhaps, may have just said, oh, screw it, fine, I'll give it to you to avoid this, you know, intimidation. That is not the right way to go about dealing with a kid who is selling a product. That's just a horrible thing to do. Now moving on to our second story of today's video, entitled Mother Demanded My Plane Seats on My Redeployment from Iraq. This happened in 2006. I was in the US Air Force and deployed individually to Iraq, not with a unit. At the end of my rotation, I also took the rotator back by myself. It was a commercial 747 the military paid for to take a bunch of us to the US. Back then, we typically wear our uniforms, even on commercial flights. The guy in the seat next to me was similarly redeploying and also in his uniform. This was usually never a problem because Americans were typically very kind to servicemen in their uniforms in public. I can't say how it is now because that was a long time ago. We had a layover in Ramstein, Germany, and civilians began boarding. These were mostly wives, children, and other dependents of those deployed to Europe. It had to be obvious those of us already on the plane were coming back from deployment. We were in desert patterned camo, glassy eye from mental and physical fatigue, and generally stunk of burn pits. Well, this woman with a baby comes right up to my seat and announces that we are in her seats. The other guy needs to move too because she wants to put her kid there. We were both kind of bleary and just stared at her in surprise. I didn't care where I sat, but the stewardess hurries over and says the flight is full and they can't reseat us. This woman shoves her ticket in the stewardess's face and says it clearly shows my seat number on her ticket. She wants to kick me and my seatmates off the flight. Clearly, she was more entitled to it than us. She flips her mind right in the middle of the plane and goes off on the stewardess. I stayed seated more out of shock than stubbornness. I've been awake for longer than I care to think about by that point, and I was not reacting quickly to anything. I guess my seatmate was in the same boat because neither of us said a single word to her or moved a muscle at all. We just watched her make a butt of herself in front of all these gawking passengers. She ended up getting herself kicked off the flight. In all, it happened rather quickly, but it still stunned me. The trip from Iraq to my home station was already going to be several days long, and she thought nothing of forcing me and that other guy off just for her convenience. I don't know why she popped in my head today, but I can't imagine being married to that. Oh wow, imagine thinking that you're more entitled to a plane seat than people who have literally just been at war, protecting your country, protecting you. I just cannot understand that. I can't even fathom it. Of course, it's a little bit poor of the airline not to have sorted this out sooner. I assume they knew who you were, you know, officers, soldiers. Surely they would have made sure that you had like seats on the flight and that all normal passengers had seats as well. That's a little bit poor. That situation probably wouldn't have happened without that. But still, this woman just, surely she knew as well. Like, she could have asked you, like, oh, you know, are you soldiers? Or surely looking at you in your uniform, it's quite hard to miss that you're a soldier when you're wearing soldier's uniform. I don't know. Just, yeah, I can't believe that. That's so poor. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this video. I'm really excited to bring you guys Redditor Uncensored. If you think you might be interested, just go in the description, go in the pinned comment, check out the link, check out the page. It's all there in front of you. You'll love the content. Trust me, if you've waited this far into the video, if you've watched this far, then I know you're a true fan and you'll love the content anyway. If you have enjoyed the video and you just want to stay subscribed here, that's absolutely fine as well. Nothing's going to change here. But my true fans, I'll go and have a look at the Patreon, that's for sure. Anyway, with that all being said, I will see you guys tomorrow with a brand new upload, so turn notifications on so you don't miss it.